Hey everyone, positive and forward. So I am doing my video today by myself, like my brother mentioned in his video that I would be, and it's just it's a follow up basically to him. So we're calling it a part two, but because things are so organic and natural in the way we share our message, there might or might not be any rhyme or reason. I'm going to try to stay on point though. Again, positive and forward, everyone. So, the question today that I need to follow up on my mindset on meditation and why or why not something like that is necessary. And for me, meditation is a centering process. It is a grounding process. It is the thing that just keeps me solid anymore. It gives me an ability to press through my days in a more eased manner. So it's funny to me. We talked about meditation video before last, and then directly after that, I spent a week doing a root chakra challenge. And obviously, your root chakra is about grounding. And so it just involved me doing a whole lot more meditation and growing in even that short amount of time directly after we already discussed meditation. And then going into following up and explaining why meditation is beneficial. It's beneficial for me specifically because it just grounds me and it brings me to a level of peace within myself that is necessary to make it in this big bad world we live in. I think that my brother has definitely said that exact same thing. And so, that's it. That's the meditation of it all for us. Again, you can do meditation in your own way, different times of the day. There are definite practices that people follow and suggest, and looking on YouTube and finding, different versions of and mindsets on why that's a necessity or why that would benefit you. I strongly suggest it because it's been extremely helpful for me. And then involving myself in social media groups that are trying to do the same things I'm trying to do. So it just helps with my growth in general. I absolutely suggest anybody listening, follow through and find things on your own. Because people will have tons of messages, people will have tons of ideas, and that doesn't mean that's the thing that's going to settle with and for you. Find your message, find what you need to do. That flows directly into spirituality for me, which is the primary subject. What does spirituality mean to me? It again means a grounding place, a solace, a peace, a comfort with oneself and their greater power, if that is their belief. My brother mentioned that he doesn't believe in Jesus. He mentioned that there is one true God that he believes in. He mentioned that we were raised in a very Baptist Christian home. Our mother, Bible thumper all day, still to this day. As a matter of fact, if anytime we go to her with, a question, we need some level of advice, her first go-to is going to be the word and prayer every single time. That's not bad. That actually helped us become, the good, positive, strong, intelligent, good-hearted, supportive people that we are. But as my brother mentioned, for me too, things just never really settled and got truly comfortable. I was always searching for more. I was always skipping church if I could. I was always sleepy in church. I was just never really getting what I needed, and not even understanding in those times that's why it wasn't for me. It doesn't mean that it's not for somebody else. It just wasn't for me. And I fell into this whole mindset of spirituality versus Christianity or whatever all the other religions are. I started this process in trying to work through a divorce, actually, and trying to just heal me and be better for me. And still right now in this moment, my spiritual walk is not about the benefit or the growth of anybody else. It is still about the benefit and the growth of myself and the things that I need. Do I absolutely understand, and am I glad that if I'm working on me and I'm making sure that I'm a good product, that I provide something great into the world, and then people, cleave off onto that and or sponge onto it and get some benefit and grace themselves? I'm perfectly okay with that. But this is about me and my walk and what I need for me. I spent a long time devoting me to everybody else. So I was raised in a home with a single mother. There were 4 of us. I'm the oldest. And honestly, I had to play baby daddy because my father, while very present, was not present. So he was out there doing what he needed to do to make sure his life was good and make sure he was building businesses and make sure he was growing. And my mother was working, a lot, 2-3 jobs sometimes at a time to make sure we had the things that we needed to have. So what did that mean? That meant I'm the oldest. I need to step up. I need to figure it out. So she would cook meals for us. She still always cooked. She still always cleaned. We helped. We had chores. We did that type of thing too. But she would cook full meals for us. And it would be my responsibility to make sure everybody got fed during the week off of that, after the leftovers, the food that she cooked. And so then that was the beginning of my levels of responsibility. I had responsibility to my younger siblings. And then directly out of their homes, I had responsibility to my own daughter, and then a husband, and then another child, and then stepchildren, and then work relationships. And excuse me, just my life meant, I'm sorry, it meant more to what others needed than it did to me. Well, 2 years ago or so, that started to change. My children are grown up. The marriage has dissolved. My mother obviously doesn't need me to help her with her children anymore. We're all grown. Work is just that. It's work. I help people for a living, and I'm passionate about doing so. But I set boundaries, and I stay. If I can't do it, I say no, because the care of me has become more important. What does this all mean to spirituality? It means find your peace, find your message, find your thing. Because and it doesn't mean that the message that my mother started us with is wrong for some. It just means it wasn't my thing. How it helped start me, it helped, grow me into the woman I am. It helped get me out into the world and be good for others. But now it's time for me to be good for me. And so that means find what centers me. And so I don't ascribe to any other religion in general. I don't think that it makes sense to grow out of Christianity into a closer relationship with God, and healing and growing and finding peace within myself, to then just jump and follow another religion. Because they're out there and there's tons of them. I think that it makes more sense to grab the things from each thing that benefit you as a whole, and then while you're growing, you're great, you're healed, you're doing what you need to do, and yours is spreading outward, then maybe not the larger world, but at least your world and the extended world outside of you starts to improve. So I ascribe to peace. That's what I ascribe to. And things that I don't worship anything but God. And really, to be very honest, there's probably not a whole lot of worship happening in that regard for me currently at all. I use that as a basis to be good to others. But that's about it for me in this current stance, because I'm ever evolving, because I'm growing, because I am still working towards, what really sits and settles for me. In 6 months, that could change. I don't think it will change in regards to following specific religions, because that just never fit for me. It didn't work for me. There wasn't a peace found. There wasn't a true understanding with why certain things just had to be, because as my brother said, I don't think that God wants us miserable, scared, fearful of everything, fearful of making mistakes. We're human. We're supposed to be human. Um, and we're supposed to be good to others and help others. And why do I need religion to do that? I don't. So, spirituality for me means finding one's peace and growing in their own autonomy and being good to themselves and then others around them. That's what it means for me. I've never been the type of person to dig harder than I have to, because I kind of believe a wheel was made, and why do I need to make a new wheel, and so, yeah, outside of being good to myself and then others around me, I mean, that's at this point, that's where I'm at. The biggest suggestion that I give that I think you should absolutely follow is find what helps you and doesn't hinder others. You deciding you're not Christian, that can't hinder anybody. You deciding you don't want to be Muslim or Buddhist or whatever the religion is, how can that harm someone? You being who you need to be or not being who you need to be does, though, harm you. So make sure you're taking care of you. Make sure you're loving you. Make sure you're doing the things that are self-serving enough to not only heal and grow you, but extend. That's my basic message on spirituality and why I feel like it's necessary. Because this world is, it's rough. We know this. We all are out here. We're fighting so many different things, just in our own homes. We're fighting, if we have the money for a bill. We're fighting if something agrees with our diet. We're fighting our siblings or our mates, or, there's tons of things to, struggle with just in your own home. And then we go out into the broader world, and you have the haters, and you have the racist, and you have the, the microaggressions from the bosses or the coworkers. There's just so much out here that we're already fighting. Don't fight within yourself. Find you, settle with you, regardless of what the opinions are of others. Because somebody's always going to think something adverse to what you think. Throw that out. That's not your business no more than your business is their business. Do what needs to be done for you. Because that's the best thing in the general sense of it. Had I known 25 years ago that being a little bit more selfish, being a little bit more considerate of self would have been the better path, I would have started this a long time ago. Because I really feel like I did not serve some of those people I felt like I was serving so greatly, as greatly as I could have, had I always ensured I was solid. In our community, we often get thrown into these places of attempting to be extremely Superman or Superwoman, like super strong. You always hear the term strong when it comes to us. And I'm not adverse to being considered strong, but I am adverse to being considered strong if it means I cannot also be considered human while said strength is being, looked at, revered, respected. If that's what it's even being, if that's even what's happening. I think that I've pretty much covered it. And I'm hoping that the point of what I'm saying is understood that, spirituality for me means finding oneself and being true to said self so that you are creating a better product and then having the ability to provide said better product to the world, and then better world being formed just based off of your growth, your solidness, your grounding, your ability to be good to you. I'm not saying hate people. I'm not saying ignore everyone. I'm not saying be antisocial, because I can be, really. But that was a process I needed to go through and still need to be in to ensure that I get to where I'm trying to get. But I am saying, don't forget you and your needs, and how your spirituality and your growth will ultimately not only benefit you, but those that you're working so hard to take care of anyway. I'm listening in the background. I have my brother playing because I wanted to be able to make sure that I was as true to, what our goal was as possible. I think I have been. One thing I will say is I was asked what I've gained from more heightened and centered spirituality. And what I've gained is a comfort with self, a boost in my self-esteem like none other. I've always considered myself, strong in the self-esteem area. I'm not going to say I haven't had my little quims, my little things, my little moments of times where I'm like, is that, we all second guess ourselves if we're pretty enough, if we're smart enough, if we fit the bill of what everybody else wants. We all have those thoughts. But I've never really been the person who really pushed that outwardly. In the path I've been going through in the last 2 years has absolutely shown me that there were more fears, more angst, more anxiety than I realized way back when. And so my spirituality has assisted me in growing to a full-blown, confident, self-assured person. I am settled in my decisions. I am settled in who I am growing into. I like me more because I'm more centered and grounded and peaceful and happy. So that's what spirituality, that's how it's benefited me, actually finding a centering and grounding place. It's just giving me an ability to not make apologies for who I am. Because people, oh my God, people will try to make you do that. And for a long time, people have tried to make me do that. And today, no, not making any apologies. And, anybody who doesn't like it, anybody who has issue with, anybody who thinks anything adverse to where I am, what I'm doing, they can kick rocks, hot rocks, with no shoes, because I don't care. I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna make sure I'm good, and my level of spirituality and growth and all these things we've talked about in these last several weeks just already have absolutely assisted in those abilities. I'm not apologetic for who I am anymore because, let's be honest, I'm amazing. And anybody who doesn't see it or who doesn't agree, that's their problem, not mine. So, on that note, y'all might end up having questions this time. I'm hoping y'all do. We're really looking for some conversation to start happening. We're looking for, things that we've said that have piqued y'all's interest. We're looking for opinions on things we've said. adverse or otherwise, we don't have a problem with it. We're looking for y'all to start sharing our stuff. And y'all don't have to agree with our stuff to share it. Y'all know that, right? You know that, right? Come on, y'all. Help us. Get us all out here. We're ready to go ahead and expand and grow and do. And we want everybody else to benefit. But y'all gonna have to help us help y'all. Positive and forward, everyone.